Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. So this is Angular 16 CRUD series. In this video, we are going to implement delete operation. So let's implement the delete operation. So for deleting the item, I want to display a confirmation pop-up for deleting. So for that, let me create a new component. Okay, ng generate component inside of the superheroes folder. Okay, I will name my component like delete dialog super. Okay, I don't want any test files, so skip test. Okay, here we can see logs that component is created. Let's check it in our folder structure. Okay, inside of the superheroes folder, now I have delete component. So for me, this is like a dialog component. So there is no route for it. Okay. Now go to Angular material website, go to components and go for dialog section. Okay. In the examples, we can see some dialog. Okay. Let me use this dialog. So for that, let me copy this HTML content and add it inside of the delete dialog superheroes HTML file. Okay, so if you observe here, title I can change mad dialog title. Okay, so I will change like uh, delete confirmation. Okay, would you like to delete this item? This is the content body of our dialog. Okay, and here there are couple of buttons. Okay, like no and okay. In my case, I will change the label like cancel. Okay, another one will be the confirm delete. Okay, so here they will automatically get closed because of the attribute like mat dialog close. Okay, okay, now let's try to invoke this delete component or delete model from our all components.html. Okay, so for that, let's go to our all component.html file, and here we have a edit button, right? So here we are going to add one more button for delete. So here we have used anchor tag, right, for navigation, but here we directly use the uh, button itself because I am going to write a code for click event, button click event. Okay, let me, and one more thing, since I am using material dialog, I forgot to import the component, right? So in the API, copy the mat dialog module, okay, and get back to our project and go to app module, okay, and here let's add that module reference and also add that into imports array. Okay, okay, now get back to our all superheroes component.html. Let's try to add a button here. Here, okay, from the examples, let me take the raised button, okay, and add it here. So this button is like a delete. Okay, for this delete, let me create a click event. Okay, so click event, we have to open brackets and here we have to write a method. So for that, let's go to all superheroes component.ts. Okay, inside of it, let me create a new method. So let me create a method like delete item. Okay, so here I want to invoke the my mat dialog, right? So for that, I have to inject a mat dialog service. So at the constructor dialog and mat dialog. Okay. So mat dialog comes from the material dialog component. Okay. So constant dialog ref this dot dialog dot open. Okay. To this method, we have to pass our dialog component. So what is our dialog component? Delete superheroes, right? So pass the component class name. And here I am going to give few configurations for my dialog like width. Okay, pixels. Okay, now let's check whether I am able to open the dialog or not. So I have to register it, right, for click event. Let me register. Okay, so now I got delete, but I want this delete button to be red color. So let me change the color attribute label like warning. Okay, let's check. Okay, now if I click on delete, see, I'm getting the delete button. Sorry, pop-up delete model. If I click any button, it will close because there is no functionality we implemented. But this closing happening, that is because our if you go to our delete component.html, there is a attribute, right? Mat dialog close. So that is why on clicking the button, they are able to closing. Now we have to invoke the delete API call on clicking this confirm delete button, right? So first let's create a service for the delete API call. So go to our all superheroes, sorry, superhero service file. Okay. And here let's define our service, delete service. Let's create a new method and it will have a input like item ID or record ID that we have to delete. Okay. And this should return this dot http dot delete call, right? We have a delete method and it is almost similar to this URL with ID as the dynamic value. Okay, so let me give it. Okay, that is my API call. So we have to invoke this API call whenever we click on this confirm delete. That means we need to invoke the API call inside of our dialog component. Okay. Now I should not close this confirm delete automatically. So let me remove this mat dialog close. Let's go to my delete dialog component.ts file. Okay. So here we have to get the correct dialog reference so that we can interact with it. So inside of the constructor, okay, dialog ref, so mat dialog ref, okay, that loads from the material library. And here we need to pass our component class type. Okay, inject our service. So private superheroes service. Okay, superheroes service. Let me create a method for this confirm delete button. Okay, so I will create a method like confirm delete. Okay, in this method, I have to invoke the API call. So this dot superhero service dot delete, but delete expecting some input parameter. Okay, that means from our all superheroes component itself, we have to pass the record ID that we want to delete, right? So for that, to pass any data to the dialog component for Angular material, we have an option here. Okay, so that is option like data object. Okay, so here we can pass any object. So for this all component.ts file, we have to have a input parameter from our HTML. So all superheroes.html, it should pass here item ID. Okay, so item dot ID is passing. So let me change here itself. There is the TS file, all superheroes.ts file. Now it contains a ID as a input number. So that ID I can pass as one of the property of the data. Okay, so to read this data, here we have to use the mat dialog token like @inject, okay, of mat dialog data. Okay, this is the token type. Okay, public. I will name the variable like data and type is any. Okay, so it's going to read all that data our all component.ts sending here. Okay, now I can use data.id. Okay, this dot data.id. And here in the subscribe method on successful delete, okay, I want to pass the same ID back to my component. Okay, so for that, I can use this dialog graph. Okay, this dot dialog graph close on closing this dot data.id I am passing. So what is this line means? It is closing the component. On closing also we can send here data. Okay. Now in our TS file, okay, so this dialog, this method we have to register the click event with confirm delete, right? So here let me add click event, okay, and invoke the delete confirm delete. Okay. Now go to our all superheroes component. Okay. So now after closing, we have to do something here. That is, in all superheroes variable, we have all data, right? So here we are deleting the data from API by invoking the API call, right? So same record we must delete here also, where in our variable also. So that logic we are going to write here. Of our dialog. Okay. So here I will check for after closed method and I am going to subscribe for it. Okay. So result. If result exists, why I am checking result means this after close method. Okay. This after closed method will also invoke for cancel button as well. Okay. At that time I don't want to do anything. I have to do some logic when user click the confirm data. So in the confirm data after closing, we are sending the data, right? So I am taking that as a point of contact whether the button is confirm delete button or clicked or cancel button or clicked. If some data is coming, confirm delete button is clicked. Okay, that is why I am checking for the result. So if result exists, nothing but that result is nothing but our ID. So this dot all superheroes equal to this dot all superheroes dot filter. I am going to filter out the deleted item value. Okay, ID not equal to result. Okay, that is my logic. Okay, now let's check and open the DevTools. Go to network call and go to XHR tab. Now, if I try to delete this item, see, it is deleted from here. And if you see, it is invoked the API call with the delete request method. That means our HTTP delete is successfully invoked. If I refresh also, I won't get that item because that was deleted successfully at the server as well. Okay. And next, we are going to implement the sorting. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video delivered some useful content to you all. If you like the video, please do support by subscribing to the channel. Soon we are going to meet with new content. Until then, signing off.